Hello and welcome back to Suzerain with the Republic of Swordland. Anton Rain is gonna visit and inspect of schools in Laren. As part of the planned program, we arrived in Laren to visit a middle school. The prestigious Torn High School was situated close to the suburbs, just outside of the city center. The building was flanked by two hills, each beautifully dotted with shrubs and flowers. Lucian and Sierra and I got out of our cars and met at the entrance. Our presence had not gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there were at least 10 reporters following us around. "That must be the principal. Right this way, sir." The principal was a man of short stature with a bushy mustache and a pair of glasses. He approached us quickly, but was stopped by the security guards. They started patting him down and searching him. "That won't be necessary. Let him through." "Mr. President, such an honor to meet you." Shake his hand and smile for the cameras. We shook hands and I turned around to smile for the cameras. Reporters instantly snapped a few photos. "Welcome to our humble school." "Sorry for about the security guards. It's a necessity. Standard procedure." "Excellent. You must be Mr. Gallade." "It's a pleasure to meet you." "And Miss Walda. So good for you to come all the way out here." Thank you." At the entrance, the school's motto was inscribed on the wall of giant letters. "Intercessor en regard of agrini inti ola averite et vola mexis." I don't know. "Education is the premise of progress in all societies, in all families." Okay, we walked through the gates. There were many students lined up in front of the stairs of the main building. Yeah, that makes sense to me. As we entered, the students started singing the national anthem. The principal proudly looked at them. "Marvelous, my students." After the anthem finished, all of the students immediately snapped to attention and turned to me. "Looks like more of a military institution than a school." Exactly. That's what we pride ourselves on. Discipline has the utmost importance in our school. Yeah, we need more educated people, not soldiers. On that, we are aligned. I can assure you that our students are very well educated. In fact, our school is one of the top 10 middle schools in all of Swordland. Now that I care about. I don't really care about this whole, like, we are military, like doctrination stuff. But I like that you're educated. Now we will watch the students take their daily student oath. Ugh. A boy and a girl went up to the stage and grabbed their microphones. The students turned to them. "I am Sword. My strength lies in my blood. I will respect our honorable elders. I will protect the young. My life belongs to Swordland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the guiding light of Colonial Soul and the great swords of Magna West Corps, Victor and Sister." I'm gonna do nothing. That seems a little... Words to remember. What? No one even remembers it after they graduate. "If you wish to follow me, we will take a look at one of our classrooms." Through the hallways, we made our way to classroom 7A. As soon as I entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped to attention. "At ease." The students sat down. The same boy and girl walked up to us. "These are our top students and our top class. This here's my son." Oh boy. The boy came before me and saluted me like a military officer. "Tell Mr. President what you want to be." "Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I'm ready to sacrifice myself for my country and you, sir." Oh, God. That seems... This seems a little... Ugh, I don't like this. I've also seen this before in another playthrough, but I'm kind of trying to go through this with my first reaction in mind of how I felt. And I was definitely, This is nonsense. What are you teaching these students? The principal looked extremely surprised. "Was it not to your liking? I'm so sorry, Mr. President." The cameras flashed. "This is simply ridiculous. You are raising soldiers here, not students." "I am so sorry. I will immediately perform disciplinary actions." Ugh. No, it's not the kid's fault. It's yours. "How about you, young lady? What do you think about this?" "She is our top student in the school. Her excellent grades are too." I didn't ask you. She bent down and gently addressed the young students. What do you think about your school? Just between us girls. I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I have to take all these stupid handcraft classes? Shh! Do you know who you are talking? Shut up! Let her speak! Sierra's presence had emboldened the girl. She went on, My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they don't let me take the classes I want just because I'm a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. You heard her, Mr. Principal. You will make the necessary changes at once. As you wish, sir. At once. I will personally check back to ensure the changes are made. Yes, sir. The cameras flashed once again. Oh, this is going to be some controversial stuff on the news. I looked around the classroom and saw a large portrait of Colonial Soul. Do I want to? I am. We need to move on. Take that down. But sir, that's a portrait of Colonial Soul. We can't just take it down. I gave you an order. The principal reluctantly took the portrait down. Even the reporters looked confused for a minute before taking many photos of the portrait being taken down. Sierra was smiling, and when she realized I was looking at her, she nodded. Well then, unfortunately we are almost out of time. We have other meetings to attend to today. Thank you for the warm welcome. Mr. President, Lucian, please go ahead. I would like to speak to the girl alone. Very well. Thank you for visiting our school, sir. Come on, class. 1, 2. All students in the classroom yelled, but the boy whom I met was the loudest. A Magna West Corps! And I'm just gonna leave. I left the classroom. After another round of photos, we departed. Yeah, time to stir up some controversy. Let's see what's going on over here, though, first. CSP advocates dissolution of Meftian ITZ. The SP has called for the dissolution of the Meftian International Trade Zone. The strategic location, Morelia territory, and complemented by a strategically vital port, has been the joint venture of Rizian, Morelian, Lesbian, and Vagslan state corporations since the pre-revolutionary era. Yet the recent ascension of the Alma Sultana to the premiership of Morella has sparked a seismic shift in the arrangement. With staunch backing of Vagslan, Prime Minister Sultana has declared intentions to nationalize the mines and port, a move that potentially upends the status quo and alters the trajectory of the region's economic future. This move directly challenges the interests of Rizian royal gold, and by extension, King Ram's Taurus of Rizia. The announcement drew immediate attention from Lesbia's president, Alvarez, and ATO stalwart, who firmly expressed his commitment to maintaining the current free market practices, heightening the tensions between the two blocs. Erlori. Gurat unveils newest wine and sends a message. Ooh, wine. The famed dandelion label of Erlori, rooted in the rich vintage of legacy of Gurat of Ribery, has introduced a new wine to its esteemed collection. Mr. Haunt Bellisord has sent a fine selection of the Maroon Palace and wrote a little note to accompany it. Wine, like politics, operates not on a scale of lesser or greater, but on a spectrum of nuanced complexity. The distinctions are subjective, the flavors as variable as policy decisions. As a winemaker studies the subtle notes in each grape, a politician must examine the unique shades of each strategy. If I'm to choose between one vintage and another, between one's policy and another, I'd rather not choose at all, but rather appreciate and comprehend the intricate interplay each presents. After all, the art of winemaking, and indeed politics, lies not in forced choices, but in understanding and celebrating the subtle complexities inherent within. This latest addition expected to uphold the characteristic floral tones, depths, and elegance that dandelion wines are cherished for. Wine connoisseurs and industry experts await the opportunity to savor this new vintage, as potential influence of Swedish wine industry is a topic of considerable interest. What's on the news? President visits school in Laren. Oh, yeah, that's all I did. I just visited, it was A middle school in Laren receives a special visit from President Rain and Minister of Education, Miss Walda. Students and staff at Torren High School, one of the 5 most prestigious schools in East Swordland, welcomed the special visitors on Thursday morning. President Rain expressed his wish to visit the successful Torren High School and spent the morning talking with staff and students, joining in for lessons and hosting questions and answers sessions with the students. Through the visit, Torren High is delighted to have had an opportunity to represent the fantastic job that all the staff and members have been doing. Wow, that's the most vague, doesn't mention any of the controversy at all. Like, wow, okay. Just ignore it, I guess. Assembly talks about prayer language. Today, Kesaro Kibanir, the leader of the NFP, has proposed the Swordish Prayer Language Act to the Assembly. The proposed bill aims to standardize the language of prayers in Swordland to Swordish in the entire Swordland. No, prayer language has always been a controversial topic, as most of the religious ceremonies in the Bergia region, where most of the Bloodish population resides, conduct their prayers in Bloodish. The proposal has caused heated discussion between the Bloodish MPs and NFP, resulting in Monsoon Leek, the leader of the independent MPs, leaving the assembly in protest. Swordland Day, a new star in the Gilrot's wine sky. The revered dandelion label from Erlory introduced a new wine carrying forward the rich viticultural legacy of Gilrot of Lurbury. Wine enthusiasts and critics alike eagerly anticipate the debut of this new vintage, expected to carry the hallmark floral tones and elegant synopsis with dandelion wines. Beyond the pleasure of the palate, the latest editions is expected to inject a fresh dynamicism into Swordish wine industry, further solidifying our nation's standing in the world of wine. Balanced energy prices. Energy prices in Swordland have remained remarkably stable over the last quarter, a positive sign for our economy. With a marginal increase of 0.8%, the stability in energy prices demonstrates the resilience of domestic energy sectors amidst global market uncertainties. This stable trend offers predictability for both businesses and consumers, fostering a conducive environment for steady economic growth. Yeah, sure. Radical. President Rain, the USP, and the Colonel. On Friday morning, President Rain and Education Minister Walda visited a middle school in Laren, known to be proudly Solist establishment. Thornhill High School is one of the most popular middle schools in Swordland. During the visit, the president was seen speaking with the pupils and school staff before he ordered the removal of Turkensol's portrait from the building. The reasoning behind this controversial and brave move still stands unknown, but it will surely create problems for President Rain with his own party. The event might have very well been just a show, or a sign that there are widening cracks between President Rain and the USP. Or is this a sign that the USP is finally feeling the pressure and opting for a change in their values? Whatever the case might be, the foundations of the USP and the cult figure of Turkensol seems to be losing its strength. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna cause some problems, but soulism is, like, literally what my character is fighting against most. Like, that's, like, their main thing they're pushing back against, so I can't really not do that. Like, I'm trying to push us forward to, like, a capitalist society and getting rid of... I'm trying to make a democratic capitalist society, and that is, like, not soulist at all, so I kind of have to push against it. At least to a degree. Arcasian PMC is accused of sowing discord in Eastern Sina. In a striking turn of events, Zeal has accused Arcasian private military companies, namely Service International and Palator Security Solutions, of disabling Eastern Xena, and the allegations suggest these PMs are resorting to piracy and unauthorized resource extraction, potentially violating international norms and regulations being upheld by the XEC. Nations such as Zielina, Narashima, and Finako, and more. The serious nature of these accusations not only stoke regional tensions, but also raise fundamental questions about the role and accountability of PMCs on the global stage. If validated, these activities could represent a significant review of AN's laws, prompting a broader dialogue on the regulations of PMCs. Briefing on the proposed education reforms. We were still in Laren, staying at a modest guest house for state employees. Sierra set up a meeting with me and Lucien to go over the plans for education reforms after the school visit. Lucien was seated across from the table, going through documents. Sierra entered the room. After the visit yesterday, I couldn't even sleep thinking about that little boy and girl. I've never been more sure of my intentions to reform our education system. Lucien took off his reading glasses and put it on the table. I agree. An education reform is necessary. Exactly. These students have to repeat the same soulless propaganda every single day. They are being brainwashed at an age when their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls are denied the same opportunities as boys. They're forced into the role of housewives before they've even reached puberty. Nothing's changed since I went to school. Women like me, Lilius, Nia, even your wife, we had to study twice as hard to receive the same university education that you and Lucien took for granted. Is that the kind of country you want your daughter to grow up in? I've already said I want to do education reform. Stop trying to make me feel bad. I already want to do it. You don't have to make me try. Let's do it. Mr. President, we need to bring change. We need to free the minds of these young people. They are our future. Yes, let's do it. Very well. What do we need to do for an education reform? We need to keep politics out of the curriculum. Sol should only be viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. This is actively poisoning young, bright minds. Instead of thinking for themselves, they're learning to take things at face value. We also need to ensure boys and girls receive the same instruction. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes, or not at all. You know, in the past, I've done a full, trying to be almost communist run. I've done a capitalist run before, but I've never done, a full-on, let's be actually just soulless run. At least I've never completed it. I think I did start one, but I stopped playing it and then just forgot to continue it at one point. But I've played 2 and a third playthroughs of this game so far, but I never did a full soulless run. So I kind of want to, I might end up doing a soulless run with you guys after this, but I can't guarantee that. Maybe, maybe not. Depends how I feel. Swordland's youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. They won't be possible with the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in schools today. Also depends on how well these series are doing, but either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future or not. What will be, Mr. President? Also depends if the DLC's out. If the DLC's out, I'm gonna go to the DLC right after this series if the DLC's out by that point. Lucien, what do you think? I mean, I already have an opinion, but I always go to Lucien. I mean, come on, Lucien's a smart guy. As much as I respect Colonial Soul, his time has passed. Now it is our time. I do think this might be the first step of a larger plan. We need to reform the education system. You will not regret it. I will get to work immediately. Now that the decision was made, let's move on. Very well. Sierra skimmed over her documents before continuing. With no change in budget, the ministry was left to its own devices. We made some tough choices, but still lack additional funds. Therefore, we are investigating if privatizing education would draw in the funds to conduct investments. What are the advantages of privatization? There aren't many, but it would give us solely needed funds and increase competition among schools. It would support our overall economic strategy of promoting a market economy. A few minutes deliberation passed. We can manage without additional funds. The only reason I wanted to consider it is to have more money to improve education. So what is your decision? We will initiate privatization to draw more funds. This should allow for more competition and quality. Will do. That should be it for now. I will get to work and report back later. This has been a very productive day. I will be returning to Wholesword. Thank you for your time, everybody. We dispersed after spending nearly the entire day together. I took a moment simply to breathe the fresh evening air of Laren. I felt calmer here somehow, but I would have to return to the chaos of Wholesword soon enough. Yep. Education privatization. In an effort to address funding challenges and augment resources, the government has introduced an education privatization plan. This plan allows private interests to participate in the education sector by even purchasing or building education institutions. The aim is to attract additional funding and investments to support the education system and improve its overall quality. Education reform. Responding to societal concerns, the government of Swordland has taken steps to remove nationalistic indoctrination from the education system. The move reflects a shift towards fostering free thought and critical thinking among students. By instilling an environment that encourages independent thinking, the government aims to promote intellectual exploration and create a more inclusive educational atmosphere. Education gap. The shift towards a privatized education system has raised concerns regarding the impact on countries' social and economic well-being. The privatization has led to a growing education gap between the wealthy and less affluent members of society, as those with more financial resources are better able to access quality education. Furthermore, this gap could also create social instability as it perpetuates inequality and limits opportunities for social mobility. Yeah, but modernized education techniques, let's go. The education system in Swordland is undergoing significant reforms, with new education techniques being introduced and traditional teaching methods being curbed. The goal of the reforms is to improve the quality of education in the country, making it more relevant and effective for students. This has been achieved through the introduction of new technology and teaching methodologies, as well as the development of new curriculum and instruction materials. As a result of these changes, students are expecting to have a more well-rounded education that will better prepare them for success in the workforce in life. Alright, what's going on? United Cortana launches second satellite. In a significant technological milestone, United Cortana successfully launched a second satellite capable of facilitating radio communication. This development catapults United Cortana to the forefront of space-based communication technology, enabling radio signals to be transmitted via satellite for the first time. No other nation currently possesses this advanced capability, marking significant achievement for United Cortana. What's up, Pulsword? Minister of Education has started work on education reform. Minister of Education Sierra Walda is reporting that she has begun working on the approved education reform. The details of the education reform will be finalized over the upcoming months. If the reform package is accepted, the next steps of the process would be to discuss the indoctrination of education. The Latvian Times, Cabiner, Rain is making mistake. No, we're not. Head of Swordland's second opposition party, National Front Party, NFP, Kazarel Kibner, has said President Rain will not be able to keep ruling the country without addressing policies that have negatively affected our security, culture, and economy. He blamed President Rain for not being open to any discussions about proper reforms. Kibner, I'm trying to reform it right now. Kibner also, you're the one that won't let me reform it. Kibner also criticized PFJP leader Fritz Richter for supporting President Rain. NFP cannot be part of this nonsensical collaboration anymore, as it has been transformed into an anti-nationalist committee. Good, said Kibner. He also explained his concerns over PFJP's supported Arcasian imperialism, and also only cared about their profit at the expense of the Swordish people. Rain is making a mistake by working together with Richter, said Kibner, and criticized the committee for not discussing the real issues that surround Swordland. Administration announces education privatization. The Minister of Education has recently announced the upcoming changes to the education system. Administration has decided to follow through with the promotion of the market economy and started the privatization of education. There was a mixed response where one side is believing that change will only serve the oligarchs behind the corporations, and the other side defending that this will increase the quality of education. We'll see which side is right and the effects of the decision in the long term. Gruny Rural Development Grants. The Gruny Rural Development Investment is proposed by Rural Development Minister Gus Manger to bolster Swordland's rural economics and secure the nation's food sustainability. The plan envisions a judicious allocation of resources to vitalize agricultural communities, fortify food security, and elevate the regional economy of Gruny. One potential strategy is the provision of subsidies for new farms, encouraging more players in the agricultural field. Alternatively, Manger proposes an investment in the mechanization of existing farms to improve productivity, or the initiation of crop research to foster innovation. Subsidies for new farm, mechanize existing farms, initiate new crop research. We'll initiate new crop research. That should do a little bit. Why not? Government invests in crop research. The government's decision to invest in crop research as part of Groony Rural Development Investment Plan is a heartening sign of commitment to our agricultural sector. By fostering innovation and improving our understanding of crop growth, the initiative has the potential to yield significant dividends for the Groony regional economy and our national food security. Good. That's what I want. But I think for now, this is a good time to go ahead and end this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.